The title of this research project is a comparative study of social integration disparities between first-generation and non-first-generation STEM students. My name is Ty-Angelo Giorcelli. I'm a sophomore in the exercise physiology program. My research advisor is Dr. Miriam Leary, an assistant professor in the Human Performance and Exercise Physiology section of the School of Medicine. Nearly half of the students that initially enroll in a STEM major leave the major before graduation, and first-generation students leave the STEM major fields at higher rates than their non-first-generation counterparts. Greater social integration improves retention rates and creates a positive undergraduate experience. However, first-generation students are more likely to experience difficulty with social integration. Understanding differences between first-generation and non-first-generation graduating STEM seniors could allow majors to better assist incoming first-generation students with social integration during college. This study explored the role of social integration in students graduating from a STEM major and compared responses between first-generation and non-first-generation students. For this research, an anonymous online survey was emailed to graduating seniors in a STEM major during the last month of classes at a public 4-year land-grant institution in Appalachia. Of the 110 students invited to participate, 91 completed the survey. 20 students self-identified as a first-generation college student, 85% were female, and 71 students, 52% female, did not. First-generation students had a lower GPA than non-first-generation students, but the percent of students that were honors were similar between the groups. Fewer first-generation students were satisfied with their social life, where 85% of non-first-generation students were satisfied and 75% of first-generation students were satisfied. Despite a similar sense of connectedness with students within their major, fewer first-generation students felt a strong sense of connectedness with other students at the university, where 90% of non-first-generation students felt a connectedness and 75% of first-generation students did. When given the choice of spending time with friends or spending time alone, 70% of non-first-generation students chose to spend time with friends, and only 45% of first-generation students chose to spend time with friends. First-generation students were also 11% more likely to work during their undergraduate years, but were significantly less likely to spend time in Greek life, tutoring, or campus events. So, in conclusion, even after successfully persisting within a STEM major to graduation, first-generation students show lower social integration than non-first-generation students. To discuss these findings, as compared to first-generation students, more non-first-generation students indicated they have most of their close friends at the university and they have a connectedness to other students at the university. They have a lot in common with other students at the university, and they spend more time socializing at the university as opposed to being alone. Similar results were found with respect to these questions when asked within the major versus the university. There was a substantially larger number of non-first-generation students who reported attending tutoring and campus-held events as compared to first-generation students. And the percentage of first-generation students reporting they hadn't established a relationship with their advisor until their senior year was 2.5 times more than the non-first-generation students. All of these points provide evidence of first-generation students being disengaged from the college community more so than the non-first-generation counterparts. Additional findings provide evidence that first-generation students are not as satisfied with their social life as non-first-generation students. There are 10% less first-generation students reporting satisfaction with their social life when compared to their counterparts at the university. Similarly, there was 10% less first-generation students reporting satisfaction with their social life within the major as well. While this exploratory study provided valuable insight into first-generation STEM students' social life integration in college, it was not without limitations. It captured responses from a single cohort of graduating seniors at a single institution. Therefore, the findings may not be generalizable to first-generation students in other majors or universities. As an extension of this research, Dr. Leary and I are now assessing first-generation and non-first-generation graduating seniors on their social integration in high school to see how it may relate to the college environment. Finally, I would like to thank the NASA West Virginia Space Grant Consortium for funding and supporting this research.